Hello students, today we are going to revise the first chapter of our English textbook, First Flight. The name of the chapter is A Letter to God. Do you believe in God? How much faith do you have in God? Though we have not seen God, yet most of us have great faith in God. God exists. That is our firm belief. Many people say, I believe in only what I see and what I hear. To such people I would like to say, have you seen the coronavirus? No. But does the virus exist? Yes. So, though we do not see God, He is present everywhere. He is omnipresent. He is omnipotent and He is omnipresent. Do you know who has the greatest faith? Which age group has the greatest faith? The child. A child from the age group of 1 year to 10 years, they have a lot of faith. They have great faith in their father, in their mother, in their parents. Once, a little boy was traveling in a ship, and the ship was caught in a storm. Everybody was scared because they were sure the ship would not survive the storm. The ship might sink in the storm, and they were running helter and skelter. But this little boy was firm. He was not at all scared. So someone asked him, "Kid, are you not afraid? Are you not afraid that the ship might sink?" The kid said, "No, I am not afraid because I know my father. He is the captain of the ship and he will not let the ship sink." Such was the faith of this little child. This is just a story. But let's be more practical. You must have noticed many a times in your own homes, if there are small kids, small children, and when a father scolds his little child or even gently taps her, beats her, what does the child do? The child clings to the father. The child will hold on to the father's legs and cuddle the legs tightly. Pull the father close to itself, because she knows that her father is her protector. The father protects the child. That is the faith a child has in his father. And since we are all children of God, we should have the same childlike faith in God the Heavenly Father. There is a difference between childish and childlike. I am telling you all to have a childlike faith in Father, the Heavenly Father. So here is a story, a letter to God. Before you read, they say, faith can move mountains. But what should we put our faith in? This is the question this story delicately poses. Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. Does Lencho's letter reach God? Does God send him the money? Think what your answer to these questions would be, and guess how the story continues before you begin to read it. In the days not so long ago, one of the cheapest ways to send money to someone was through the post office. Nowadays, we have so many modern devices by which we can transfer money just by the click of a button through our mobile phones. But in the earlier days, money order was one of the cheapest modes of transferring money into someone else's account. Have you ever sent or received money through a money order? Here's what you have to do. As you read the instructions, discuss with your parents at home the meanings of these words: counter, counter clerk, appropriate, acknowledgement, counterfoil, record. Consult a dictionary if necessary. Are there words corresponding to these English words in your mother tongue? Inside the post office, go to the counter marked money order. Buy a money order form by paying 50 paise to the person behind the counter. Fill in the appropriate boxes in the form, preferably in block letters. Pay the counter clerk the amount of money to be sent along with the charges. Take back the money order acknowledgement counterfoil for your record. Think about who you will send the money to and how much you might want to send money for a magazine subscription or to a relative or a friend. Or you may fill out the form with yourself as sender and your partner as receiver. Use a part of your pocket money and submit the form at the nearest post office to see how it's done. See how your partner enjoys getting money by post. Notice that the form has 3 parts: the money order form, the part for official use, and the acknowledgement. What would you write in the space for communication? Okay, so now though we have modern gadgets, but if you have to send money to someone who lives in a village where there is no internet connection, or the person does not have a mobile phone or the eBay facilities with him, so what would you do? The best way is to send money through the money order, and that is why the textbook is actually giving us practice how to send the money order. So now let's come to the story. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. What is the crest? The topmost portion of a hill is called its crest, or even the waves. The highest portion of the wave, the high tide wave, the rolling waves, that is the crest. So here we are talking of the hill. So the summit of the hill, the topmost portion of the hill is the crest. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. Throughout the morning Lenko, who knew his field intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Now, why is Lenko looking towards the northeast? Because the northeast would bring rain. Like in India, it is the southwest monsoon winds, and the Indian farmer would look towards the southwest. This story is not in India, it is somewhere else where the northeast plays an important role for rainfall. So, Lencho is looking towards the northeast. Now, we are really going to get some water woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied, "Yes, God willing." The older boys were working in the field, while the smaller ones were playing near the house, until the woman called to them all, "Come for dinner." It was during the meal that, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, "These aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces, and the little ones are fives." With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers, draped in a curtain of rain. But suddenly, a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. "It's really getting bad now," exclaimed the man. "I hope it passes quickly." It did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white, as if covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lenko's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm passed, he stood in the middle of a field and said to his son, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn." The night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We'll all go hungry this year. Oral comprehension. What did Lenko hope for? Why did Lenko say the raindrops were like new coins? How did the rain change? What happened to Lenko's fields? What were Lenko's feelings when the hail stopped? The lesson continued. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house, in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope: help from God. Don't be so upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. All through the night, Lenko thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, sees everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Lencho was an ox of a man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. The following Sunday, at daybreak, he began to write a letter, which he himself would carry to the town and place it in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm. He wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled, went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. The postmaster, a fat, amiable fellow, also broke out laughing. But almost immediately, he turned serious and, tapping the letter on his desk, commented, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter, starting up a correspondence with God." So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. Answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink and paper. But he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos. So, he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as signature: God. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Such was his confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. Immediately, Lencho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. On the public writing table, he started to write, with much wrinkling of his brow, caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp which he licked and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. It said, "God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks." लेंचो। तो इस कहानी में हमें क्या सीख मिलती है? देखो, एक तो ये सीख मिलती है कि इस इंसान के पास में कितना विश्वास था। लेंचो जो किसान है और लेंचो का पूरा परिवार, ये बहुत ही सीधे साधे भोले भाले इंसान हैं और इन्हें भगवान के ऊपर पूरा विश्वास है। जब ये किसान ने अपनी मेहनत कर लिया, उसके खेत में जो अनाज था वो ठीक ढंग से उग रहा था, पौधों में फूल खिलाए थे, केवल एक अच्छी खासी बारिश की ज़रूरत थी और काले घने बादल भी उमड़ आए थे। तो किसान लेंचो और उसका परिवार बड़ा खुश था और दोपहर में जब ये भोजन करने लगे तभी जोरदार बारिश भी चालू हो गई। लेंचो बड़ा खुश हो गया, बारिश में जाकर खेलने लगा, केवल इसलिए कि उसको बारिश की बूंदें अपने शरीर पर गिराना था। और उसने कहा कि जो बड़े बड़े जो बूंदे हैं ये 10 के सिक्के हैं और ये छोटे वाले जो है 5 के सिक्के हैं। लेकिन कुछ ही देर में जोर से हवा चलने लगी, आंधी आई और आंधी के साथ में ओले गिरने लगे। इस ओलों की वजह से लेंचो किसान का पूरा खेत तहस नहस हो गया, पूरा खेत खराब हो गया। वो बड़ा उदास हो गया, अपने बच्चों से कहा कि टिड्डे भी अगर हमारे अनाज को खाते तो कुछ ना कुछ छोड़ जाते। इस बारिश ने, इस तूफान ने तो हमारे खेत को पूरा तबाही कर दिया। लगता है इस साल हमें भूखा रहना पड़ेगा। लेंचो और उसके परिवार के पास अभी केवल एक ही उम्मीद थी और वो उम्मीद थी कुदरत से, खुदा से मदद की। तो अगले ही दिन लेंचो ने खुदा को पत्र लिखा कि उसे 100 पेसोस की जरूरत है और ये पत्र लिखकर वह पोस्ट ऑफिस चला गया। पोस्ट ऑफिस में जाकर उसने एनवेलप के ऊपर टू गॉड ये एड्रेस लिखकर पोस्ट बॉक्स में ड्रॉप कर लिया। जब ये एनवेलप पोस्टमैन के हाथ में आया, उससे हंसी रुकी नहीं गई। वह हंसते हंसते इस लेटर को लेकर अपने पोस्ट मास्टर के पास गया। पोस्ट मास्टर जो हट्टा मोटा एक मजाकिया किस्म का इंसान था, पहले तो वो हंसने लगा, फिर सोचा रुको यार, इस इंसान में देखो खुदा पर कितना विश्वास है, हमें इसके विश्वास को नीचा नहीं दिखाना है, हमें इसका विश्वास बनाए रखना है। तो इसके लिए हमें इसके पत्र का जवाब देना होगा। तो उसने पत्र को खोला, लेकिन जब उसने पत्र को खोला तो उसने क्या देखा कि लेंचो के पत्र का जवाब देना मतलब केवल पेपर और स्याही की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, क्योंकि लेंचो ने भगवान से पैसे मंगाए थे, भगवान से मदद मंगाई थी। तो उसने सोचा कि क्यों ना हम कुछ पैसा इकट्ठा करके इस किसान के एड्रेस को, किसान के नाम पर पैसा जमा करके उसको दे देते हैं। तो उसने अपने तनख्वाह में से कुछ पैसे निकाले, कुछ उसमें से दिए और अपने बाकी जो सहपाठी थे उनसे कहा कि तुम भी कुछ पैसा डालो। जैसे तैसे 70 पेसोस का पैसा उनके पास जमा हो गया। अगले संडे को लेंचो यहाँ पर जल्दी पहुँच गया पोस्ट ऑफिस में और उसने पूछा कि क्या मेरे लिए कोई पत्र है। तो पोस्टमैन ने खुद उसे वो पत्र दिया और उसका रिएक्शन देखने लगा। अंदर से पोस्ट मास्टर भी देख रहा था। तो जब लेंचो के हाथ में लेटर आया कि भगवान से लेटर मिला, उसके चेहरे पर कोई शिकंज नहीं था। उसे पूरा विश्वास था कि भगवान उसके पत्र का जवाब जरूर देंगे, इसलिए पूरे विश्वास से उसने लेटर लिया। उस लेटर को खोला, उसमें से पैसे निकाले, पैसे को गिना और पैसे को गिन के बड़ा बौखला गया, गुस्सा हो गया, नाराज हो गया। और उसने फिर गया काउंटर पे, दूसरा पेपर लिया, पेन लिया और वहाँ पर टेबल पे जाकर, पब्लिक टेबल पे जाकर उसमें लेटर लिखना चालू किया। और लेटर में लिखा, भगवान दोबारा तुम मुझे पैसे नहीं, क्या मेरे खुद के एड्रेस पे भेज देना, इस पोस्ट ऑफिस के द्वारा नहीं भेजना, क्योंकि ये पोस्ट ऑफिस में नहीं, क्या जो सारे जो कर्मचारी है यहाँ पर चोर भरे हैं। तो सोचिए कि पोस्टमैन पोस्टमास्टर के ऊपर इसकी क्या बीती होगी। लेकिन इससे भी ज़्यादा सोचने वाली बात यह है कि लेंचो का विश्वास देखो। लेंचो को पता था कि भगवान उसे पूरे के पूरे जितने पैसे उसने मांगे हैं उतने पूरे के पूरे पैसे उसको देंगे और वो इसमें कोई आनाकानी नहीं करेंगे। अब इसके बाद क्या होता है, क्या बाकी के 30 पेसोस को इकट्ठा करके उसको देते हैं, उसके यहाँ पहुँचाते हैं, नहीं पहुँचाते हैं, ये तो हमारे कल्पना के ऊपर लेखक ने छोड़ दिया। तो ये कहानी जो है ये आपके विश्वास के ऊपर की कहानी है। कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, हम भगवान पे विश्वास करते हैं लेकिन मदद कहीं और से आती है, मदद कोई इंसान करता है, तो ये भी कोई चमत्कार से कम नहीं होता। इंसान मदद का जरिया बन जाता है। इंसान के दिल में मदद करना ये डालता है खुदा। तो कहीं ना कहीं लेंचो का जो विश्वास था खुदा के ऊपर वह सही ठहराया गया। लेंचो को खुदा की तरफ से भले ही डायरेक्टली मदद ना मिली हो, लेकिन इन पोस्ट ऑफिस के कर्मचारियों के द्वारा उसे मदद मिलती।